Now, back to Jeff Kuhner.
Welcome back to the Kuhner Show on 570 WTNT, the last honest man in Washington. 301-984-9570 is the number. 301-984-9570. We're joined by attorney Mario Apuzzo, who is representing Commander Charles Kerchner. Both of them together are now spearheading a major federal lawsuit challenging Obama's eligibility to be president of the United States. They also want the president and the White House to reveal the official birth certificate. Gentlemen, thank you so much for holding. Let me ask this to you, Mr. Apuzzo. What is the current status of the lawsuit? Where is it now? And do you think eventually it's going to reach the Supreme Court? And will the Supreme Court even take up the case?
Okay, well, I'll answer first on the Supreme Court. Yes, the case will eventually get to the Supreme Court. But let me tell you where it is right now. I filed the case in the federal court in New Jersey, Federal District of New Jersey. That's a district court, a trial court. The government made a motion to dismiss because of standing and political question. But standing basically means that we don't have a right to challenge the president because we can't show an injury. The court said that because everybody in the whole country is injured by this, then therefore my clients cannot show that they alone are injured by it, and therefore we don't have any standing. Now, it's a total incredible argument, and that it would actually fly is unbelievable. But that's a different point. I'm not going to argue that right now. But okay, so the case was.
That's a good point for a financial lawsuit, but this is a constitutional lawsuit on constitutional term. Article 2. What does it mean?
Yeah. So of course I've written a brief. I have arguments about that. But let me just continue now where it is. Okay, so the case got dismissed, so I appealed to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals in Philadelphia. Okay, and that's where the case is right now. We have a tentative scheduled oral argument on June the 29th, 2010 in Newark, New Jersey. That's June 29th. That's just coming up now. Now, I said tentative because the court can change the date or they can even deny oral argument. We don't know. But at this point, we're all ready to go for June 29th in Newark, New Jersey, oral argument on this particular case. If there's oral argument, of course, I'm going to be there. My clients will be there. The public is of course, able to be there. It's a public forum. And the Justice Department is going to be there, of course, to argue the case. And now, the issue on appeal is standing and political question. However, I also contend that the merits of the case are also so intertwined with the standing issue that the court is going to have to almost address also the merits of it. When I say the merits, I'm talking about the birth certificate and the definition of natural-born citizen, which we just went over that. Now, after the Third Circuit Court of Appeals handles it, then it goes to the Supreme Court. Now, we don't have a right to be there at the Supreme Court. We can only ask to be there, and that's done with a petition for certiorari. Okay, it's a request. Look at my case. My case merits. It's important. The Supreme Court of the United States should take it, and that's where it is at that point. And then, of course, we would have to wait to see if the Supreme Court feels that the case should be taken there at that level.
Okay, but Mario,
can you put out your website ad?
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, Commander, I was just gonna say that.
Okay, well, they cover both of them.
Yeah. So now, for Commander Kerchner, his website is protectourliberty.org. And Mario, what is your website for people to follow this case, perhaps contribute to your case, give you moral support for your case? What's the your email address?
Okay, well,
your internet address.
The http:// and then we have the Apuzzo, P-U-Z-O, the number 1 .blogspot.com.
Okay, so Puzzo, Puzo1.blogspot.com, and for Commander Kerchner, it's www.protectourliberty.org. Let me ask both of you then, just very quickly. We're up against a very hard break. Just a very quick answer. Do you think the Third Circuit Court of Appeals is in fact going to take up your case?
Well, they have to take it up because we have a right to appeal there.
Okay, but do you think they're going to reject it? In other words, can this case continue to be kicked out and rejected all the way up to the Supreme Court?
You can't go by prior cases. So many people say, they're not going to, they're going to throw it out of court. It has no basis. All the cases have been dismissed. You can't go by that because the Kerchner case is unique. It's super, super unique because of when it was filed, and not only when it was filed, but the arguments that are made. We have
We also sued Congress. That's a difference in our case.
Okay, but the key point, just for our lay listeners, is both of you sued him before he was officially sworn in as President of the United States, while he was a private citizen. That gives you guys, in fact, unique standing to challenge him, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Our lines are blazing. We'll go to our busy phone calls. 301-984-9570. Questions for Attorney Mario Apuzzo and Commander Charles Kerchner right after this break. This is Jeff Kuhner, the last honest man in Washington.